I'd like to call tonight's meeting to order. We have a lot planned for you, and I hope you enjoy the evening, and we'd love and appreciate if you would share this with your friends. So let's get started. We'll be led in prayer tonight by Alexa Newman. Alexa is the director of the Carolina Pregnancy Center in Spartanburg, and she also serves as the executive committeeman for Spartanburg County.
Greenville County, it's so great to be with y'all tonight, and what a privilege to lead us in prayer. Would you pray with me? Father, thank you so much for an opportunity to gather, some in person and some technically, but God, we just thank you that you are always accessible to us, that you always hear our prayers, and we thank you for that. Lord, you know the state of our country right now, and Father, I pray that you would just come and that you would bring about peace. Lord, that you would give us an understanding of one another. God, that you would give us a love for one another. Thank you for the country, for the United States of America. Thank you for our president, Donald Trump, and for our vice president, Mike Pence. Lord, thank you for these two men that have willingly given themselves up to serve you. Thank you for all of our elected officials in South Carolina. Thank you for our first responders, for those men and women who serve in the service. And God, I would pray specifically tonight for Spartanburg and Greenville County, God, that you would keep us safe, that as protests and different activities take place, God, that you would keep us safe. Lord, that believers would take a stand, and God, that we would show one another that we belong to you by the way that we treat one another. Thank you so much for Jesus, for his gift of salvation, and we pray these things in his name. Amen.
We'll be led tonight in the pledge by Chad Conley. Chad is a former chairman of the South Carolina Republican Party, and he is also the CEO of Faith Winds, which is an organization that engages Christians in the political process. Chad?
Suzette, thank you for having me. Mr. Chairman, members of the Greenville GOP, if you're able, please rise and let's say the Pledge of Allegiance to the greatest, freest, most successful nation in the history of the world. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless y'all.
We next have the Republican Creed, and this will be led by Colonel Bobby Davis and his wife Kathy, who are both involved in the American Legion Post 214 in Taylors, and they are both part of our Republican Party in Greenville.
I do not choose to be a common man. It is my right to be uncommon.
If I can seek opportunity, not security, I want to take the calculated risk to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. I refuse to barter incentive for dole.
I prefer the challenges of life to guaranteed security, the thrill of fulfillment to the state of calm utopia.
I will not trade freedom for beneficence, nor my dignity for a handout.
I will never cower before my master, save my God.
It is my heritage to stand direct, proud, and unafraid, to think and to act for myself, enjoy the benefit of my creations, to face the whole world boldly and say, I am a free American.
We now have a special treat for you. Tara Solomon and Matthew Christopher will sing for us. Tara is the director of Patch Live Productions, and Matthew is a recent Furman grad, and in the fall he'll be attending the New England Conservatory.
While serving as the British ambassador to the United States in 1912, Sir Cecil Spring Rice was recalled to Great Britain after the U.S. entered World War I.
As a child of God, Rice was faced with the overwhelming need to love and to sacrifice for one's nation, and ultimately for the kingdom of God. This hymn invites us to patriotism, not the kind that reaches out to take, but the kind that gives and holds nothing back.
Tonight, we sing this hymn in honor of the brave men and women who have given everything to keep us safe. Safe from war, safe from disease, and safe from hate.
Woe to thee, my country, all earthly things above, entire and whole and perfect, the service of my love.
The love that asks no questions, the love that stands the test, that lays upon the altar the dearest and the best. The love that never falters, the love that pays the price, the love that makes undaunted the final sacrifice. And there's another country I've heard of long ago, most dear to them that love her, most great to them that know. We may not count her army, we may not see her king, her fortress is a faithful heart, her pride is suffering. And so my soul silently her shining bounds increase, and the ways of gentleness, and all her paths of peace.
Thank you, Tara and Matthew. I'd like to welcome you tonight to the June meeting of the Greenville County Republican Party. We're delighted to have you join us tonight. I'm Suzette Jordan, and I am the Executive Committeeman from Greenville County, which means that I represent the county at the SCGOP Executive Committee in Columbia. We are still working under some restrictions for large groups. We had planned to have an old-fashioned stump meeting tonight, but instead we hope you enjoy this, our Facebook Live stump meeting. And remember, the primary is June 9th. We'll first hear from our secretary, Karen McManaway.
Okay, I believe the plan is I have the minutes finished and we're going to send them out for everyone and we won't approve them until the next time. So if everybody has any additions or modifications, just let me know via email or let Nate know. Thank you.
Our treasurer's report now will be given by our treasurer, Scott Stevens.
Good evening, everyone. For the sake of time, I'm going to give a quick summary of our financial position tonight. This report is for the period of February 1st, 2020 to May 30th, 2020. Our beginning balance on February 1st was $88.58. Our ending balance on May 30th was $52.93. Our income is down a little bit at this time because we were planning to have our Bronze Elephant event fundraiser this year in May, and we had to postpone that because of the virus. At this time, we've rescheduled the event for September. So for more information, you'll be getting that later on, closer to the event. And if anyone has any questions, particularly the executive committeeman or the presidents, feel free to contact me and I can give you more detail on the financial situation of the party. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. I don't have an executive committee report tonight, which I usually give at this time since we've not had a meeting since February. We did have a 4th District online convention, however, and I want to thank each of you that participated in that. We elected our national delegates to the convention, and I'd like to congratulate those delegates and alternates. Congratulations to Nate Loip, Linda Garner, and Lisa Watson for being elected delegates, and to Jane Kaiser, Jared Spencer, and Curtis Smith as alternates. The state online convention will be held on Saturday, June 13th, and if you've not registered, please do so this week. Now we'll hear our chairman's report from Chairman Nate Loip.
So this might be a fun chairman's report because my chairman's report is on the phone, which you are viewing right now. So I'm going to do this a little off cuff. The first thing I wanted to do is thank Diane Mitchell. Many of you have seen over the last few days some candidates' videos from a forum that she did at Sugar Creek. And Diane, tell us a little bit about that and thank the people that helped you with that.
Thank you, Nate. We had a great event over at Sugar Creek May 28th, and I'd like to thank the ECs and the presidents of the District 21 precincts that helped me do this. This is a precinct-driven event that we got together and wanted to put something out there so that the candidates in our area, the local candidates in our area of the down-ballot races, were able to get directly to the voters. So Gail Stanley, the EC of Silverleaf, Robin Duffy, the president of Timberlake, Lance Byers, the EC of Thornblade, Stacy Shea, the EC of Circle Creek, and Bobby Cox, the EC of Granite Creek, were all very helpful in putting the questions together. We had a meet and greet out on the lawn, and then we had about a 2-hour forum. And each race, you can look on my personal Facebook page and find the races individually, or you can go on the GOP Facebook page because we were able to do this Facebook Live, thanks to Nate. And it's on that page, although the picture you have to look for when you're looking for it, it's two chairs and a plant in between them. It doesn't look like there's anything going on, but that's what you have to click on to look at the video. I want you to know about this for 2 reasons. If you were in District 21 or Senate 12, or you're interested in the coroner's race, you can find out more about these races by looking at those videos. Please share it and let other people know about it. And the second thing I want you to understand is that as a reorg chairman, it's my job to get involved at the precinct level. And you could do this at the precinct level too by getting together with other people in your area. So if you would like to do something like that, please email me at thirdvice@greenvillegop.com and I'll help you do it.
Thank you, Diane. Really, for my chairman's report, all I wanted to do was thank you for the election at the 4th District Convention. It was a great vote of confidence. I'm honored to be elected as not only as your 4th District Chairman for the next 4 years, but also your district delegate. It was really one of the best experiences of my life to go up to Cleveland in 2016, and I am happy to go hopefully to Charlotte in 2020. But that is still something that is being discussed. Hope Walker will be with us on Zoom, via Zoom here in a few minutes. The other thing that you'll hear probably all throughout tonight is there's a few candidates here. What is happening? When is it? June 9th. June 9th is something that has seemed so far away, candidates, for so long, and all of a sudden it's just a week away. So make sure to get out and vote. Use social media as a tool. These candidates have had such a difficult time to campaign. They've done very well using social media. They have begun knocking on doors. We need to help them. Share tonight's video. Share the videos from Diane's forum. We have done candidate interview series over the last few weeks for the candidates that have come met with a party first before filing. As the Republican Party, I'm pretty adamant this is our primary, and we want our candidates to come to the party and prior to filing. So you'll hear from those candidates who met with the party, who went through a vetting process, but help them and share that and let your friends know June 9th. You can go to your polling locations. A lot of you have been voting absentee, but 1 week away, and we look forward to having a very successful COVID-19 Republican primary. So please be a part of that. I'd like to also thank Suzette for the great job that she's doing. Our officer team for the Greenville GOP is amazing. Jerry Warren has spent most of the afternoon setting up some snacks for our visitors here tonight, our candidates, Linda Gardner. Gail Stanley's not an officer, but she's always helpful. And of course, Miss Suzette Jordan does a wonderful job emceeing this, and I'm thankful for that, so I can go hopefully deal with not too many technical glitches tonight. So again, thank you for coming. Share this on your Facebook page, please. And if you have any questions, please email me at chairman@greenvillegop.com. Suzette?
We will now hear from our meeting sponsor, Representative Adam Morgan, who represents District 20 in the State House in Columbia.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Adam Morgan, and I'm a representative in the State House for the east side of Greenville and part of Taylor's. And I'm honored to be sponsoring tonight's Greenville GOP virtual meeting. And we're actually going to be recording tonight in our studios over at Majesty Music. So we're excited to be here, and Nate asked me to give you an update of what's going on in the State House, and unfortunately not a whole lot's currently going on because we're furloughed due to COVID-19. However, we are going to be meeting in September, doing most of the work we normally do in the spring in a session during September. So continue to contact us, advocate for your conservative policies, and definitely let us know if you need anything as legislators. And don't forget to vote in the primary, the Republican primary next week. And there's also a number of Democrats who are running in seats. I have a Democrat challenger, and I know several of the other representatives do as well. So come November, we're definitely going to need help to make sure we keep the upstate red. So thank you for all you do. Thank you for joining us, and hope you have a great meeting.
We'll now hear from Jerry Warren, who is our Vice Chair for Events.
Hi, everyone. It's so good to be with you, even though it's a virtual meeting. But I'm here to tell you about some good things coming up that we can get back together and enjoy electing President Trump again. On August 3rd, we're going to have our third annual Washington Night. Now, if you'll recall, last year we had 400 or 500 people there, and it was out at the veranda, and we had like 5 different county parties going in together. We will hear from a U.S. Senator and a U.S. Congressman, and you will be permitted to submit a question and hopefully get the answer you want. For something different, we're going to have this year an ice cream sundae party, and it's going to be with all the trimmings and a lot of hot fudge sauce, homemade hot fudge sauce. And instead of, this is in place of our regular executive committee meeting, so we will have a virtual business meeting maybe the end of, I believe it's July. And we will meet at headquarters, and if you have trouble with the Zoom technology, those people can come join the officers when we're going through this. Our next thing to look forward to is the SCGOP's Silver Elephant Dinner, and that will be July the 31st in Columbia. I do not have any details about that, but I'm sure Nate will be sending that out. And then our next event is our rescheduled Bronze Elephant Dinner. And as Scott said, this is our main fundraiser, and we use it to pay the bills like rent and telephones and mailings. This will be Tuesday, we think, September the 22nd at the Poinsett Club. So last time, we just have it every 2 years, and last time we had the gubernatorial candidates, and that was exciting and fun. And so this year we're hoping to have a really good main speaker. So mark your calendars for near the end of September. Probably it'll be a weeknight, September the 22nd. So hope you can join us there. And stay safe. Thank you.
We'd now like for you to watch a first responder video that the Greenville and the Spartanburg County Republican parties did together. Again, Hope is the executive director and the hardest working Republican in the state of South Carolina. So we are privileged to have her join us tonight by Zoom. Hey, Hope.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hello. How are y'all?
We're
Can you hear
doing
me?
just fine. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank y'all so much for having me this evening. I believe this whole COVID mess has taught everybody a little bit about modern technology. So we're very grateful for the Greenville GOP and the other county parties and auxiliary clubs around the state that have had virtual meetings and have continued business somewhat as normal. But the state party, for what it's worth, we have been working all day, every day, from our office actually in Columbia, safely, social distancing. It's been a little weird not traveling to see everyone, and especially having to host our district conventions online. But there has been great participation with everything going on. We are 8 short days away from the primary, and as soon as we know who the winners of the primary are, we will march on to victory in 155 days, short days from now, to November 3rd for the general election. So I just really appreciate everything that Greenville and Spartanburg and all the other county parties and activists are doing right now to get their candidates elected and to keep working for the conservative cause.
Thanks, Hope. I have a couple of questions for you. Why don't you start by telling us about the online state convention?
Yes, ma'am. So it was a very hard decision, first of all, to have to host state convention online. As many of y'all know, the original date was May 2nd at River Bluff High School here in Columbia. And then with everything happening with COVID and we spoke with the school, we decided to move the date to June 13th, which worked for everyone. Well, again, as things continue to evolve, the school district, along with the school officials, said that, you know, we are not allowing any outside or even on-campus organizations to host an event. So we started talking to other venues around the Columbia area that are large enough to hold the meeting, and no one was going to be able to accommodate it. So we quickly got the state executive committee on the phone and had a conversation with them. And luckily, our district conventions had gone so smoothly online that everybody was in agreement that the safest and the best way to conduct the state convention is going to be online. So the date is still Saturday, June 13th, and the online time to vote will run from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. It's going to run the same way as it did for district conventions. The only difference in your ballot is that you will have a picture next to the name of everybody running. At the state convention this year, we will be electing a national committeeman, national committeewoman, and then also delegates, what we call at-large delegates from the state level to represent us on the national level as national delegates to the National Convention in Charlotte in August. So we will get 26 delegates and 26 alternates at the at-large level. So folks will be able to vote up to 52 people. So you can vote for just one person, or you can vote for up to 52 people, and any combination in between. And we actually have a Facebook group for anybody that is a state delegate or state alternate that they can go and join. And we update that daily with those folks that are running as national delegate, and they're allowed to campaign on there. The group is a closed group, so it's only open to those folks that are a delegate or alternate to the state convention. So basically, if you were eligible or you attended state convention last year in 2019 as a delegate or alternate, you are a delegate or alternate to state convention this year. So we also encourage folks to go there. You can find the Eventbrite link registration to sign up for state convention. The fee is $35, which is same as if we would have it in person, or if you are a member of the Elephant Club, so meaning you give $10, $20, $40, or $80 a month, or you can lump sum it into 1 year. Your registration is only $20. So we are encouraging everybody to vote, or to register, and registration will close next Thursday at noon. So June 11th is when registration closes. So please, everybody, make sure your voice is heard and you're voting for your national delegates. And in order to do that, you need to register.
Yes, remember to register.
Yes, ma'am.
Hope, do you have an update on the RNC convention in Charlotte in August?
I do, actually. So that has been the question of the week, last week and moving on to this week, I feel like. National Convention is to be held in Charlotte, August 24th through 27th. We are still working extremely hard to help make that happen. They are treating South Carolina as a co-host state. And Glenn McCall, who is actually our national committeeman from South Carolina that represents us at the national level, he is the co-chair of the convention. And Glenn was actually co-chair of the convention in Cleveland in 2016. So South Carolina has a voice at the table with all the rumor mills and the craziness going on. There were, some letters exchanged between the RNC and Governor Cooper last week. And those conversations are still continuing, but I am pretty confident that we will be in Charlotte come August.
Okay, thank you for that update.
Yes,
probably the most important thing for Republicans this year is Victory 2020.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little about that and what's going on in the 1st District with Joe Cunningham?
Yes, ma'am. So first of all, we are 155 short days from the election, which is, it may seem like a long time, but in reality, it's not. We have a lot of work to do. So what victory is, typically after a primary, the state party pretty much encompasses all of the winners of the primary, and they kind of fall under the state party hat under an organization called Victory. And that's with fundraising, with staffing, with all sorts of different components, events, volunteer recruitment, phone calls, door knocks, and all of that will take place come next Wednesday, and depending on runoffs following that. We have gone ahead and staffed up, especially down in the 1st District. We initially actually started Victory a full year ahead of time for this cycle down in the 1st District. Leighton Gray Smith, she's been on our team since September, and her job has been to get bring in new volunteers, new interns, collect new data, have a whole new operation down just for the 1st District. And we've been fundraising down there as well. That way, whoever our nominee is, we have 4 great candidates that are running. So whoever our nominee is coming out, we are ready to 110% get behind them and put them to the finish line against Cunningham come November. We also, 2 weeks ago, went ahead and hired a staffer up in the PD Grand Strand area, Hannah Harvey. She just joined our team. We're very excited. So she's got boots on the ground and she's ready to get to work once once the primary next week rolls around as well. But she's going ahead and establishing herself and making herself known to the leadership, the county party leadership, and various elected officials in that area. And then once next week rolls around, you'll see us hiring additional staff throughout the state. And that also encompasses the Trump campaign. We will be all things Trump going forward. That's coalitions, that's events, that's signing up folks that, typically don't necessarily vote in an off-cycle election, but they do vote in a general election for president. So that's getting them re-engaged from 2016 back into 2020 to make sure that South Carolina does our part to re-elect the president. And then we re-elect, from the school board areas that we have nonpartisan all the way up to state senate. Jamie Harrison, who is the Democrat, we got to beat him. We've got to keep all of our congressional seats, and we've got to win back the 1st. Those are our main priorities moving to November 3rd.
Well, thanks for joining us tonight, Hope. We've
Yes,
got
ma'am.
a lot of work ahead of us.
Yes, ma'am. And one thing I do want to remind folks, there is time for people to still register to be a poll watcher or a poll manager. So if they go to their county election commission, obviously with COVID, there have been some different counties and some precincts that have lost paid workers. So if anybody wants to do that, just contact your local county election commission. And that way we can make sure that, good conservatives are there watching the polls. And we're just trying to beef that up, not just for the June primary, but also going into November as well.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for having me.
We can't conduct any business tonight because we don't have a quorum, obviously. But at the February meeting, we had a resolution that was presented, but it didn't go through the proper channels, so it has been turned over to our Greenville County Resolutions Committee, and we hope to take that up at that July meeting. We'll now have an update from Meagan Ingersoll, who is the president of the Greenville County Young Republicans. Welcome, Meagan.
Thank you. So just briefly, the Young Republicans in Greenville have been active, even though we have been social distancing. Thankfully, young adults are usually pretty active on social media as it is anyways. So we've been able to stay informed and engaged, which is our goal as Young Republicans. If you are between the ages of 18 and 40 watching this, or this gets shared to you, we would love to have you reach out. We have a Facebook page, the Greenville Young Republicans. We have an Instagram. We have a website, all under the same name. Please reach out, connect. We would love to have you participate. We also have just recently shared our board application. We are taking more applications as we have multiple board members cycling off at the end of this year. So we would love to hear from you if you're interested in being an informed and engaged leader in the Young Republicans here in Greenville. We also did have an event with the Lieutenant Governor, Pamela Evett, just recently, and that is on our Facebook page as well. I'd encourage you as a member of the Greenville County Republican Party, take a look at that. It's on our Facebook page. She covered COVID-19, the census, and the upcoming election. And the election is what we are gearing up for as Young Republicans. We're excited, we're going to win, and we can't wait. So please join us.